We are in 2025.
Yes, we're in 2025.
Mr. Lhotan.
Yep.
Lhotan.
You
No
got
Thanksgiving, no Christmas.
this. Yeah, Thanksgiving and Christmas was great.
Well, hello, and welcome to the Building Business Podcast, powered by the Mount Pleasant Chamber of Commerce. We're recording today in the Charleston Radio Group studios. Huge supporters of the Chamber. Thank you for recording with us today. I am Kathy Herman. I am your immediate past president of the Mount Pleasant Chamber, so that means I served as president in 2024, and I'm still on the board this year. My real job, I am the marketing director for Mount Pleasant Town Center, and I'm joined today by one of my favorite co-hosts, Michael Cochran. Michael Cochran served as the Chamber Foundation Chair last year in 2024, so thank you for everything you did for us last year, Michael, and tell our listeners a little bit more about yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you. Great to be here again, Kathy. And I am a Farm Bureau insurance agent, so I'm in the insurance side of the world, and love living in Mount Pleasant. I've lived in Mount Pleasant for over 30 years in the Lowcountry, and absolutely love it. And I love our chamber and love this this venture that we've done with this podcast, so that we can get local folks in here to talk about great business and get things done. It's all about chambering, as a past president has once said.
Oh, absolutely. And we have another incredible guest for you today. Last year's podcast just kept getting better and better and better, and I'm really looking forward to all of the podcasts we'll be doing this year. So we have a really special guest here today. He is the Major Gifts Manager at Windwood Farm and Home for Children. If you are not familiar with them, you're missing out. However, Windwood Family Services provides help, hope, and healing through behavioral, educational, and therapeutic interventions which enhance social functioning and well-being, ensure safety, and work to achieve positive permanency for children and families in our community. So I am so excited to welcome to our podcast today, Rick Lhotan.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think we should kind of wrap up now because that was perfect.
That was perfect.
Yeah, I mean,
well, that was what that was on your website. I can't say that
Hey.
I wrote it, but whoever wrote your website did it perfectly, huh?
Well, way to go, Mia. When you listen to this, good job. Kudos.
Well, we're really excited to have you here today because I don't know if there's anyone out there that does not know about Windwood Family Services, but it's an incredible organization. I can't wait to share all of your information with our businesses in the community. But we were just talking about the website, so I'm going to start with there. The first thing I saw on the website, Rick said, because of Windwood Family Services, more than 5,000 local children have been able to stay with their families instead of protective custody over the last 10 years. That is some achievement.
Yeah, it's
Some achievement.
It's a highlight of our services. Oh, we're going to have to edit that out. But it's a highlight of our services. So that achievement is really because of our community-based team. So we have a preventative, proactive approach to child abuse, neglect, and maltreatment as one of our major flagship programs. So what that team does is work with families who have substantiated cases of child abuse, neglect, or maltreatment to provide wraparound services to help strengthen that family and hopefully keep that family together instead of entering foster care.
I mean, that's some goal. But 5,000 in 10 years, that's a pretty and crazy number, isn't it, Michael?
That's an incredible number. The work that when you think about, when you put that in perspective, that's just, we see, families in the local area, and you think about that sheer number, 5,000, and how many lives are affected. I mean, we go out and we see, when we go to dinner, a family with like 2 or 3 kids, or you go to a birthday party and you see, like 20, 30 kids. We're talking 5,000.
Right.
That's a lot of impact.
It sure is.
Yeah, I'm from Texas, where high schools are massive, much like Wando. So I like to think of school sizes.
That's a good point.
That's a great comparison.
Right now, within 10 years, Windwood has done less than Wando, but I mean, Lucy Beckham, maybe?
Right.
That's a whole lot of impact.
Yeah.
That's insane. So let's just, before we get into like the weeds, can you give our listeners just like an overview of the mission of Windwood Farms and like key programs and how it works, etc.?
Yeah, absolutely. So just like you shared earlier, we provide help, hope, and healing through therapeutic, educational, and recreational interventions. Basically, what that means is we work with children who have either been founded to have some neglect, maltreatment, or abuse in their life to keep them with their families, which is the preferred setting of child development, or in the cases where we're interacting with somebody who's already been separated, we help them recover from their trauma through various forms of therapy that's really focused on trauma-informed care. So we work with them either through our preventative family-based or community-based programs or our residential programs in Allendale to really get them to a point to where they can either keep or stay with their families or reintegrate into a foster placement, whether that's kinship care or an actual traditional foster family, and continue to have a normal, healthy life like any other child should have.
And are these children placed with you through DSS or the police? Or
Yeah, great
how
question.
Does it work?
So for our community-based program, we're all referred these cases by DSS. And then within our residential programs, there's 2 programs on site. So one of them is referred by DSS. The other one is voluntary placements with community referrals.
Right. And on a side note, the chamber itself, our community engagement committee, I know they've worked with there. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But we've also done the go bags for DSS, right? And I didn't know what that was until I joined the chamber. And for those of you who don't know, if we ever ask for donations, it's for these, if someone needs to get taken and immediately from their family, there's a bag, they have a bag to go to foster care with and not just have to throw all of their belongings into a garbage bag and leave.
Yeah.
So if anyone's ever asking for donation for go bags for DSS, please write that down on your list.
Well, and then on that note, I'm not sure if y'all know this, but Mount Pleasant Chamber actually gave Windwood or provided a whole bunch of school supplies and backpacks for the boys at Windwood this past school year, because a lot of kids will come in and just not be prepared for school on site. So it's a great opportunity for these kids to come to a strange new place away from their families and instantly be met with, here's a backpack from the community for people who care about you.
See, we care.
Yeah.
We're so nice. We care.
A lot of people care.
That's right.
But it's great. Put yourself in the perspective of a child who's just gone to a brand new place. You don't have your siblings, you don't have your mom and dad, and you're told you're going to be staying here for a while. That could be kind of shocking. It's wonderful to receive a backpack that is yours, that looks like it belongs to a kid. Like, there was basketballs, there was an astronaut, there were dinosaurs on this. Like, imagine how great of a sense of normalcy that is in a really weird time in life.
No, I think that's great. And is there a typical number of kids that you have at each time, or does that range? Or
So we have capacity for 28 on campus between our 2 programs. We're almost constantly full.
It's sad to say, but I was expecting you to say that.
Yeah, so we're going to get into the weeds for a little bit, but I'll pull us out, I promise.
Sure.
So within the child well-being space within South Carolina, Windwood is currently the only qualified residential treatment program, which is a special setting within DSS's continuum of care. Basically, getting out of the weeds now, that means we provide high-level treatment for children who have extreme psychological or behavioral conditions as a result of trauma. So we're a highly specialized organization that treats these kids. And the beauty of it, even though we're unique, the beauty of it is places like Windwood exist so that these kids who need the help can get it. But it also is a challenge because as of right now, we are the only one. So the kids who need these services but can't access it yet have to wait.
I'm sure there's a waiting list.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
So a quick question about the history of Windwood that I've got, because I know that there's some very special people that pulled together and actually pulled the trigger to make this happen. Was it 25, 30 years ago?
39 now.
39. Can you tell us a little bit about how it started, what the vision was, and then just kind of bring us up to where we are now? Because there's a lot of special people.
Yeah. And we are, the modern day Windwood is built on the shoulders of some amazing people. We would not be where we are today if it weren't for our original board, for our founder, for all of our donors from the past and current donors. So, I mean, the saying is so cliche, but it takes a village.
And who was the founder?
So the founder is Joseph Tamsberg. He goes by Jody. Jody actually lived on property in, the early 80s, before Windwood was Windwood. And he adopted 2 sons out of South Carolina DSS and really had a heart for taking care of children within the custody of DSS. And when he decided to move back to Georgetown, instead of selling the property and probably making tons of money on it, he said, I want to start a organization that serves boys who've been abused and neglected within South Carolina to take care of them. So Windwood started in 1985. Our first group home is still on campus. It's now an administrative building, but it's the home where he raised his family. It's the home where we had our first 6 boys, and it's now where most of our administrative work happens.
Wow.
I've been out to the property probably 8 times or so, 6 or 8 times with Farm Bureau, with different things that we've done with you guys. And the property is amazing. I mean, how many acres in the country is that?
So it's 110 acres. And I know you're a bass fisherman, so about 30 of that are ponds that are just stocked full of all the bass you could possibly imagine. But it's 110 acres out in the national forest.
Don't tempt him. He's going to get up and go fishing right now.
We already got something lined up for the spring. It's going to be fun.
Okay, good.
But 110 acres out in the national forest, and it is pristine Lowcountry beauty. It's amazing.
Absolutely. They've got this amazing pond house, I think it's called. And we the first year I got involved, we donated all the Christmas gifts. We said, give us your Christmas gift list. And we filled the entire list. And we went out to the pond house. And that was where they were going to wrap everything. And kids were not allowed there for about a 30-day period. But just sitting there looking at the majestic, just how beautiful it was. And I was like, if you need a therapeutic environment, y'all have captured it.
Yeah.
Absolutely have captured that.
Yeah. And that's, again, going all the way back to Jody's vision of why Windwood, all the way out there in Allendale, all the way out there in the forest, is to maintain that natural environment that helps kids just be kids, get away from the hustle and bustle of city life, and just focus on the work they've got to do to recover from trauma, heal, and just have a sense of hope for the future.
So everything for the boys is done on campus. So they live there, they go to school there.
A vast majority of life happens on the farm for them. So they live there, they eat there. We have a Charleston County accredited schoolhouse on campus that provides remedial education for the boys. But they also go off campus pretty frequently on community outings, which is just like a really fun time.
Sure.
For them to go do really exciting things, but also to just practice the social skills that they're learning within their therapeutic treatment to better understand what does normal life look like when I discharge from Windwood.
And what about the ages?
So we're licensed to care for children between the ages of 6 to 16.
That's the toughest time, too.
Yeah.
6 to 16 is rough.
But it's fun. It's so fun.
I'm so glad. Now, you are the major gifts manager.
Yep.
Does that mean you're the money man?
Maybe. It means I'm a fundraiser.
You're the fundraiser, money man?
Friend raiser. You are the friend raiser.
I like that perspective.
I like that, Michael.
Yes.
We're going to call you that from now on. Right?
I'm all
you're
right
the
with
friend,
that.
You're the friend raiser.
I'm all right with that. I'll get new business cards.
That's amazing. Such an organization to promote. It's always nice, right, when you're trying to fundraise for an organization that everybody knows and really is doing some incredible work. So, as a major gifts manager, a couple of things. Kind of tell us, what our businesses could do, right, for you. Is it solely financial? Any other kind of gifts you look for? Is it just money? Let our local businesses know how they can help you.
Yeah, that's going to be a broad answer because it's a wide open spectrum. We've got partnerships with businesses that come out to do financial literacy for some of the older boys because it's an important skill to have in life.
Right.
We've had organizations come out to do board games and pizza with the boys once
Nice.
a month, where it's just like a fun little touch point for the kids to just have normal relationships with people. We've had businesses come in during gala season and provide really interesting and unique in-kind gifts that we can auction off to raise funds. And then, of course, we've had grant makers or businesses come in and say, man, we really want to support the work that you're doing. Here's a check for X amount of money. Please use it for whatever you need. And it's a hard answer to provide because all of that is so important
Of course it
to
is.
what we do.
I mean, it's never just about money.
Right.
I mean, money helps run the world, but there are so many other things. I've always said, if you don't have the money to give, you always have your time to give.
Right.
Right.
And so do you manage all of that for them?
That, not really.
No, okay.
So we have a great team within the development team at Windwood. So we have our chief philanthropy officer who oversees our entire team. We have an event and communications
Got
manager
it.
that does all of our events. We have a volunteer coordinator that works with a lot of businesses, churches, civic groups that just anything you want to do volunteering wise, she's your person. I'm really kind of the middleman between them all, trying to connect people to where they actually want to go.
That's pretty amazing.
It's fun.
Yeah.
We were talking about the money side a little bit, you know, in addition to the volunteering your time. You had shared with me a while back some specific dollars. I'm going to get real granular.
Sure.
The amount of money that it takes for, say, an hour of therapy, outdoor therapy or therapy was staggering. And then, you know, for the 28 kids, could you share with our listeners and our viewers some of those details of literally what we're talking about?
Yeah. So we talk in terms of trauma-informed therapy because that is what Windwood does.
Mm-hmm.
It's what makes us unique.
Mm-hmm.
So an hour of therapy for one child is $110. Now these boys go to, on average, 6 hours of therapy a month, so $660 per child for 1 month. And that's just, I don't want to say the minimum, but
Right.
but that's really the brass tacks. Now more therapy happens than that, but it's kind of what we project out for each child in their treatment.
Right.
So we're talking, gosh, I'm horrible at quick math, but we're talking about thousands of dollars a month that Windwood needs to help provide these children not just trauma-informed care, but really the opportunity to regain some hope, to heal from trauma, and to really be excited about what the future has for them.
What are some of the examples of the outdoor therapy that you do?
So outside of normal recreational activities like riding bikes and fishing, playing basketball, kickball, all those are like top favorite things that you can do at Windwood. We actually started a new program last year called the Outdoor Wilderness Leadership Program, OWL for short. It's led by Coastal Expedition staff off of Sham Creek. And they come to campus once a week with alternating programs with our residential programs on campus to provide hands-on environmental education curriculum that really just, one, teaches them about the nature around them, because with 110 acres in the forest, that's a whole lot of nature. But it also just gives them time and energy to practice skills like awareness or skills like working together on teams to build a shelter in the forest using only natural elements around us. And honestly, it just gives them an opportunity to develop a sense of place and belonging at Windwood, because again, these kids aren't from Windwood and they're not going to stay there long term. The average length of stay is anywhere between 9 to 12 months, depending on their treatment plan and progress through that. So really what we're trying to do is make them feel at home at Windwood, but also give them an opportunity to be educated and to grow social skills as they're doing that.
That's amazing. And what organization did you say helps you with that?
Coastal Expeditions.
Oh, okay.
They have, I think their headquarters is on Shim Creek, but they have a Kiowa River location as well.
And see, there you go, donating, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is sounds like a major way of impacting these children, the giving of their time to provide them with something they need.
Yeah, that was actually a donor-funded program for us. But knowing the Coastal Expedition staff, the energy and the heart, and I mean the passion that they put outside of the time that they spend with us, I mean they're definitely volunteering time outside of work to make this program the best it could be.
I'm sure the boys love it too.
Oh my gosh, they love it so much, especially when it's fishing or when it's building shelters in the woods. Yeah. They love that.
I wouldn't mind getting lost in the woods every once in a while, I think. I'll have to find my way over there and help out.
Come on, it's on Tuesdays.
It's on Tuesdays?
I'll host you.
All right. I would love to see it Tuesdays. Call Rick, go over and help him out. And then let's talk about the long-term goals and impact of everything. So again, not just necessarily money, but like how do you measure your long-term results? Is that rehabilitating the boys and getting them out in a certain amount of time? Like what do you consider to be the measure of success for Windwood?
The measure of success for Windwood is positive permanency, which is a term used throughout this service space, but Windwood defines it as any placement for longer than 6 months post-discharge.
Got it.
So that's foster family, that's kinship care. In the past, it was other group homes that were lower level, like independent living skills facilities. So that is the metric that we use to define whether or not we're actually being successful.
That's great. And it's good numbers, isn't it?
95% of our children
95%.
achieve positive permanency.
Wow. That's something to be very proud of.
Yeah, it's, again, I love what Windwood does.
I know, I can see you're smiling. Every time I bring it up, you start to smile.
I know, it's great. I love it.
That's a pretty amazing number.
If you could break out a little bit on the educational side with the schooling, that's Charleston County Public School, correct? I mean, you have a Charleston County school on site?
So, great question. We're actually an affiliate of Liberty Hill Academy in North Charleston. Okay. Essentially what that means is they provide the staff, the administrative help, pretty much everything that we need to make education actually happen on campus. Mm-hmm. But we provide the students and the facility. So Windwood doesn't have teachers. We have Liberty Hill teachers at Windwood.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's an amazing partnership. Like, again, Windwood could not be what Windwood is without the community that we're a part of.
Right.
Now, it sounds to me like you're not just a major gifts manager, are you? You get involved. Well, I'm assuming, and you can tell me I'm wrong, but from the way you're speaking and the smile on your face, you probably get a little bit more involved in things that you don't necessarily have to get involved with, don't you?
Yeah, I've been a part of different great groups outside of work, but this opportunity has really, it's allowed me to engage with some rock stars in our community. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. That's why when you were like, "Are you the money man?" It's so much more than that.
Of course,
it's but it's great.
Yep.
That's proud.
Rick, I know one of the highlights of y'all's year, one of the biggest focuses is on the fundraising side is your gala. Mm-hmm. So every year you have a big gala. Can you talk to our listeners about the gala itself?
Man, all right, I'm going to tease a little bit.
Go ahead.
But yes, we're entering our 40th year at Windwood. It's a huge accomplishment. This year's gala is going to be, I'm thinking in terms of Disneyland with indoor fireworks and just like rah, it's going to be great. That probably won't happen, but it is going to be a night. Well, come on,
why not? Let's start working on that now.
Well, hotels and fire code and,
I won't tell anybody. I know people
at
the town.
Fire marshal will. And this podcast lives forever, so the fire marshal could be like, "Rick,
don't listen, fire marshal."
Yeah. So, Chief Mixon, don't pay attention to this. Anyway, the gala is by far the largest event that we do every single year. It's an opportunity for us to showcase not just the impact that we had the year before, but also an opportunity to invite businesses, individuals, foundations to be a part of next year. Mm-hmm. This past gala, It's hard to put it in context because it was so successful that the year before it almost looks like nothing happened. And again, that's all because of the great team that we have at Windwood. Has very little, if nothing, to do with me. It's
You're not a planner? You're not an event planner?
I'm not our event planner. I'll get involved. I can help, but
I'll just show up.
that you tell me where you need me to move things, and I'll do it. But that's really because of the great mind of our event planner, Mia Ballman, who's just, a rock star.
Now, I'm assuming our local businesses can get involved with this.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
make sure you tell them where they could go to get some more information about sponsoring this amazing event.
You can reach me at my email, rick.lawton, Lhotan, at windwoodfarm.org. I'd love to take you out to coffee and talk sponsorship options.
There you go. There you go.
With your gala, is it a sponsored table? Like you have a certain number of tables and a sponsor pays a certain dollar amount for 8 or 10 seats? How does that work?
That's exactly how our model works.
Yeah.
And we work with sponsors. Most of the time, they fill their 8 or 10 seats really quickly,
Right.
which is great because they're engaging their network to invite them into something that they care about.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we grow relationships within our community. But other times, some people will just say, I want to sponsor a table or I want to sponsor a higher level sponsorship, but I can't attend for any number of reasons. Here's the table back. Feel free to
Give
sell
it away.
again.
Or sell it again.
And it's
Wow, that's amazing.
it's awesome. Again, incredibly selfless.
Right. Yeah.
Have you been, Michael?
I have not been to this one. No.
Well, just have your marketing team reach out to me at rick.lawton at windwoodfarm.org. We can talk sponsorship.
We sure can. Absolutely. Yes.
That sounds like a pretty lovely evening.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome. Yeah. This past year, I hate to sound like a millennial, but the vibes were immaculate.
Sure.
It was amazing. The amount of energy in the room was amazing. The people that we had in the room really rallied around our organization. It was just a fun time to be around.
So good. I'm really glad that you got that out there so our businesses can help you out with that. But speaking more about local business, can you give us an example of some successful collaborations that you've had with local businesses and how it's impacted both the business and Windward?
Yeah, so that's a hard question to answer.
Well, I think a perfect example is what we talked about before is the business that helps with the outside.
Yeah, Coastal
right? So
Expeditions
any other,
is great. But
any other exammes?
I've got one.
Okay.
I've got one.
Yeah, please,
so
Mr. Businessman.
Yeah, so for 6.5 years or so, we started with gifts,
Mm-hmm.
and now during holiday season, we provide the meal for the children, for the boys, and it's exciting because all of our 3 offices get together. Our company gives us a certain amount, we match it, and then we bring honey baked ham meals or whatever they want. We just bring it in, and it's an exciting time to come in and provide that. And to give that, take the pressure off because the staff's it's always under the gun because it's 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do that. And then some years we've given Chick-fil-A cards that you can use throughout the year as incentives to incentivize the kids, to give them some more normalcy. But that's just on a small scale, just one meal, one time a year. But it seems like it's pretty impactful.
Yeah, and it's a hard question to answer because businesses do so much.
Right.
I wouldn't call it a partnership, but there's one particular barbershop in town that the boys go to, and it's the highlight of the month for them. It's a haircut.
Right.
Yep.
That's not a big ordeal for me, but they look forward to it.
Wow.
They enjoy it, and that's such a. I don't want to call it a niche thing, but it's such an intangible impact.
Of course.
That you can't see unless you're on the farm when they come back from the haircuts, looking fresh, and they're like, "Mr. Rick, look at what I got here."
Nice.
That's awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I know last year the chamber, again, the community engagement committee, and correct me if I'm wrong, Amanda, but I think didn't they come and paint fences and cooked lunch with the boy. I mean, I wasn't able to make it that day, but I heard that it was a really incredible afternoon.
Yeah.
And is that the type of things businesses can do for you, or?
Yeah. So the volunteering aspect for businesses can either be one of two things: one-off events that come out to do landscaping for us, or helps us update some of the infrastructure, like painting a barn, for example. Just really try to make Windwood look more beautiful. Mm-hmm. Another thing that businesses can do is work with our volunteer coordinator to develop kind of a recurring program that they help lead and run. Right. So the financial literacy example is a great example of this.
Nice.
Windwood hosts the program, but outside of making sure that all the volunteers are compliant with our policies for volunteers, they really just run it. Right. And it's so helpful.
Now, I don't think I asked you this. How long have you been?
So I have been a volunteer for Windwood for about 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And then on staff for over a year now.
Oh, so it's still a little new for you.
Yeah, still a little new.
That's why you're still smiling.
No, not at all.
I'm kidding. If I got to go and work on a place that sounds as beautiful as you describe it, I think I'd be smiling too.
Yeah, it's the one place where the trees change color in Charleston, so that's already enough to fall in love with it.
On the volunteer side, while we're there, is there a vetting process, or somebody wants to volunteer? Is there a process that someone needs to go through, background investigation, background check, that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so because we interact, or because we take care of children that are in state's custody, who have been traumatized and are vulnerable, there's a vetting process that includes a background check, includes a sled check, and then on top of that, there's a handbook that we provide that has every relevant Windwood policy that volunteers need to know, just so that they understand this is the space that you're entering. Because we want you here, you need to know how to interact with either our organization or our campus or our boys, just so that you remain safe and our children remain safe. Right.
Is there an orientation type class?
Not really, but every single time that we host a volunteer group, we spend about 10 to 15 minutes kind of covering what is Windwood, who do we serve, what do we do, what are they going to be doing, if they need help, or if they see something that they're not familiar with, do not hesitate to let us know.
Right.
And you can volunteer for not just special events, right, Rick? I mean, you can volunteer just to help out? I mean,
yeah. So we've got so many volunteer opportunities that it could take a whole hour to tell you.
Email Rick.
Yeah, email me. I'll connect you to Juliet. So
you're going to email him about sponsoring the gala, and then you're going to email him about donating your time as a volunteer for this organization.
But an urgent need at the moment is if you like reading to kids who are not good at reading or want to get better at reading, we really need some reading buddies to just come out every other week and just read to the boys or have the boys read to them. Another one that we're looking at starting as the spring kind of comes in is a pollinator/garden person. I have a black thumb, so everything I touch dies. So I'm not going to go into the garden. But if you like gardening, if you are really good at keeping houseplants alive that I'm not keeping alive, reach out, because we really need some help to start a garden for our boys to teach them about the food
So
chain.
people can take their strengths.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And literally just give them to these boys that need to draw on those strengths.
Yeah. And another great example is we had a local artist come out, I think a year and a half ago now, that just painted rocks with the boys. So they went to go find rocks, some just around campus, and they painted them. Wow. One of them was painted like an avocado, so that was interesting to find on the ground. And then, like, there's turkey hands on bigger rocks, Spider-Man rocks. Like, it's just interesting, but it was just a fun, expressive outlet for the boys. All because of a local artist who says, I know how to paint, and I know how to teach kids how to paint, so let me go volunteer my time.
It's funny you said that, because I just found a whole bunch of painted rocks at Town Center, just kind of put in the garden. So I don't know if you guys all came and
I can neither confirm nor deny
that they're your rocks. Well, one of them was a really bright pink, bejeweled
I can neither confirm nor deny that I saw
you
that in
did
the
that
office.
one, didn't you?
No,
You did the
no.
pink bejeweled one. But I think they're fun. They're eye-catching. And I love all the ideas. And I'm sure there's things that volunteers can do that we haven't even thought of yet, right?
Yeah.
So I want to ask you a couple questions now.
Go for
if
it.
you don't mind. Michael and I are going to do this. But
Hot seat.
Hot seat.
so if there's one business that you could possibly partner with, that's kind of like a dream. Take it to whatever you'd like to take it to. What would it be, and like what kind of dream project would it be? Like if you could have anybody in the world as a business partner.
Again, another hard question.
Yeah.
Because we've got amazing.
I didn't say this was going to be easy,
I know,
Rick.
this is like defending my dissertation. But
If you could do that, you can answer my.
that's true. So I think it would have to be the South Carolina Aquarium for an entire month in June, which I think is National Ocean Month. They'd have to correct me on that, but it'd be great to develop a 4-week-long program where the boys learn about the ocean and the harbor and our estuaries, learn about the life that calls all these places home, have a chance to go on a behind-the-scenes tour at the aquarium,
I love it.
and maybe go see a turtle that they've rehabbed and recovered
Right.
be released, because, I mean, that'd be so cool for
Yes.
the boys to see.
I think that's amazing. We have a connection with the aquarium. I'm going to have to give them a call.
Well, they've got my email twice now in this podcast, so
Exactly.
it's going to be great.
If you're listening, aquarium, reach out to Rick. You heard that dream. You heard that dream business to partner with. I'm a huge fan of the aquarium. I think
It's so fun.
I find under the sea creatures fascinating.
Yeah.
I don't know how like fish don't breathe. I just find that it's just like the whole thing is fascinating to me. And they do such a great job at the aquarium. They really do. And especially with all the turtle hatchings and their kids programs.
Yeah.
They really do a good job with that.
The recent no free ads, by the way, so sorry. But the recent event, Aquarium Aglow, is always a fun event to go to.
Yep.
It's a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty amazing. And then on the flip side of that, has there ever been, and you don't have to give any specific names, but has a local business ever come to you with a kind of off-the-wall idea that worked out just perfectly?
Coastal Expeditions. The OWL program is not Windwood's brainchild. We had the seeds to make it happen, but Captain Chris really saw what we had to offer on campus and took it and ran with it. And before, business term is, we'll pilot this. So
Right.
we're not really committed to doing this program long term if it doesn't work out. But that pilot term only lasted maybe 3 weeks on Windwood's campus. Like, it was an immediate hit with our programming, with the boys, with our staff. It was we couldn't have come up with it if it wasn't for Captain Chris.
That's pretty amazing.
That's outstanding. So here's one for you, and I'm going to cheat a little bit because I have a little background information here. But if you were going to do a fundraising event in addition to the gala, what might that be? What are some thoughts and ideas of something extra that some of our businesses might like to get behind?
So, for the background,
So Mike knows the secret that I don't know?
he's been involved in this idea that I've been having since we met last year. Non-committal. Okay, This is just an idea, but thinking about how do we utilize that 30-acre pond, which is really a lake on our property.
Of course it has to do with fishing. Why did I even question what this could possibly be about? At first I said golf, and then I'm like, no, it's Michael, it's fishing.
Yep. So we have been thinking about what would it look like to invite local businesses and local anglers to come out and basically do a kids fish tournament.
I love it.
Just to offer another touch point or another opportunity for community engagement. But again, focusing on the children, giving an opportunity for the boys to have a healthy encounter with another human being.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
I think you need to move that out of the thinking stage because I think that would be hugely, hugely successful.
It would be fun. but we have to.
There's a lot of dots to be connected.
Of course.
A lot of people.
As
But-
any fundraiser.
Absolutely. But in Charleston, you have two of the largest manufacturers of equipment for fishing and on the tackle side right here in Charleston.
Oh yeah.
Two of the largest.
Oh yeah. Z-Man is my favorite.
Yes.
Personal. No
Yes.
free ads.
Yes.
If you want to catch fish, use Z-Man. But it would be great to partner with them. We just need to. We need to think a little bit more strategically and develop the idea more so that if we were to launch it, it's given it a fair shot at being more than a pilot.
Well, I think I know someone I'll volunteer as a chairman for the gala, for the fishing tournament.
I think I do too.
Everybody hear that right now, right? Michael said yes.
Yes.
You said
Michael
yes.
just committed to that.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
This podcast will live on the internet forever.
That's
so.
correct.
That's right. You
That
can't
is right.
you can't go back now. No, but I think you know what I love about that is obviously not just because I think it would be so much fun for the boys, but you're right about you've got that pond, right? And you've got the environment. You don't have to create one. You don't have to make one up. It's there,
Right.
and you're doing. To me, that's amazing that you want to do something. You don't even have to start from scratch. You
Right.
don't have to make a pond. You don't have to bring fish. You don't have to do any of that.
Right.
It's there. What a great way to start off what could be a very successful fundraiser.
Yeah, hope maybe, but again, it goes. It always for me with my role, it always has to connect back to how are we
boys.
helping the
The
kids
boys, right.
in their treatment and in their progress.
But they could actually get involved with
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
But because I don't know, do they get dressed up and go to the gala?
They do not.
So this could be a way for them to be hands-on
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
in the fundraising development.
Yes.
Yeah. See now Michael's really
Yes.
happy.
Yeah, I know.
See,
The
those
wheels are turning.
That's his in.
The wheels
That's
are
his in.
turning.
That's it. Amanda, take note of this, okay? Remember when we remember the date. So if you could have like a gigantic magic wand, right, and just grant one great, amazing wish for your program, what would it be?
So outside of
Not having any kids there ever again, right?
Not the need not existing.
Exactly. Well,
Right.
So that
you know
let's
what?
just put that for granted out there on the table.
Yes,
Right.
because that would be everybody's wish.
It relates back to fishing. Sorry,
It's okay.
Yes.
but I would
You know
love.
what? Is it because he's the co-host?
No, not at all. No, not at all. This is my wish forever.
Okay.
I would wish that every child who goes fishing would catch at least one fish every time they go fishing. Not every time they cast, because it's called fishing for a reason.
Right.
But if you want to see some kids who've had a rough go at life just be through the moon excited, you'll put a fish on the hook for them. And you'll watch them reel it in. You'll see them gaze at this fish as you take it off the hook, and just there's not a clearer example of a sense of accomplishment than when these kids reel in a fish. So I would love for
That is
every kid.
I think that's
to
one of the
catch
sweetest
fish.
things I've heard on this podcast.
Absolutely.
Oh, thanks.
Of all the ones that I've recorded, that was really, really sweet.
Thank you. But it is true.
If I had the wand, I would do it for you, Rick.
Oh.
I mean it. I honestly would.
Thanks. I got her wish now too.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
I'll give you my wish. And then, what about a famous celebrity? If you could pick any famous celebrity to support the cause, who would you pick and why?
So I had to ask the boys about this because I don't really stay in touch with celebrity news.
I'm sure you got a slew of suggestions.
All superheroes.
I was getting ready to say. I was getting ready to say
Yeah.
that they have a
Really?
superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nice.
So Spider-Man is
Spider-Man.
a top choice.
Okay.
Okay.
Iron Man was another one. And then Batman coming into third place.
What?
Really?
So yeah, if we could get any of those three.
Yeah.
No, obviously they're fictional characters. But
Right.
if they were real, Bruce Wayne would be getting a phone call every week.
Oh, that's hysterical. You know, we have to. So when we do the fishing tournament,
Yes.
we're going to have costume characters
Ooh.
as Spider-Man and Batman and who did I miss?
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
We're going to have
Yes.
them all make an appearance.
Love it.
Put
That would
that
be
on the
fun.
list too.
Yeah,
Amanda,
now we're committed.
on my event
Now we're
planning.
committed.
Podcast live
Yes.
forever.
That's right.
My event
yes,
planning.
Correct.
But how much fun? I mean, that would be
Yeah.
so much fun for the boys.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's hysterical. I absolutely love it. And I've got one more for you personally, and then what about a movie? If there was a movie made about what you do, who would play you?
Okay, so it would have to exist in the Sesame Street universe.
Mm-hmm.
The title would probably be something like "I'll Walk Down the Farm Road," because Windwood is located on Windwood Farm Road. And I would probably be played by Glover. Grover, thank you. Grover. I thought it was Glover.
Grover.
Well, you're Mike. Please edit that out.
No, that one will definitely stay in. No, that's really cool, though. I like Grover. Grover's awesome.
He's great.
He's
got
one of my favorite characters on Sesame Street.
He's amazing.
Yes.
I mean, you want to talk about the spectrum of acting ability? We're talking about Grover. See, now I'm all turned around.
They can make you your own Muppet, you know.
That would
right.
be great.
They could turn you into a Muppet.
I'm down for that too. As long as I get to keep it at the end and put it in my office, that'd be funny.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's start making some phone calls to some movie studios, right? we could do that.
Jim Henson.
That's right.
That would be pretty awesome. Mike, do you have anything else for Rick before I tie things up here?
So, the friend-raising aspect, you mentioned, meeting with potential donors, just people to network with. I mean, when we first met to network, we had breakfast and just breakfast and coffee. But, I mean, what would your ideal week look like with networking with folks, just to get the word out on a personal, intimate level?
Probably what we did.
Okay.
I think. Now, don't get me wrong. I love networking events. It's fun. I've met some great colleagues there. I've made good friends there. And I go to them often. I was just a few months ago at the Veteran Small Business breakfast/coffee on the USS Yorktown. And that was great. Got to interact with my tribe of veterans, but also talk about Windwood.
Right.
But I think initially, relationships are formed best and conversation happens best when you're just sitting around drinking coffee.
Right. So if you're listening to this, please reach out to Rick and buy him a cup of coffee and have a good conversation.
Yeah.
I'll buy you a cup of coffee because I'll invite you, and I'm a Southern gentleman from Texas, so if I invite you somewhere, I'm paying.
That's awesome. Well, I agree with you. I think that there's all different ways to network. I actually have someone I know who recently joined the chamber and claims that she's shy, right? And I said, well, that's fine. Why don't you come when I'll be there? And so I've introduced her, and then I've left her. And then I get a phone call, thank you. So, she's also attended some of the smaller events and some of the bigger events. So, networking is extremely important. But you have to be, it works best when you're in the situation that is more comfortable for you. Right? Because if you are afraid to be not afraid, I shouldn't say that. If you are not comfortable in a large group of strangers, you don't want to go. You're not going to go there and start tapping on people's back and introducing yourself, right? So I think it's important to learn the best way for you to network. So Rick is going to buy you coffee. That's his best way of networking.
That's right.
Which is awesome.
But
you're not getting out of coming to chamber events, though.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
And chamber events are so fun. Definitely go. Go to the business expo. If you don't go to the expo, no free ads. But if you don't go to the expo, you're missing out.
I agree 100% on that one, too. That was our expos are pretty amazing.
Yes, they are.
Amazing.
They are absolutely amazing.
Yep. And that same friend I just talked about, I actually got a booth. She had just joined last year and gotten a booth, and she could not stop talking about how many connections she made.
Oh, yeah.
And how she kind of came out of her shell at that particular event because she felt so comfortable there.
And it's free to attend.
It's free.
It's free.
Yes, to attend.
Yes.
All right, so looking ahead at your amazing organization, your hopes for the future, obviously, again, to continue the great work and stuff, but these families that you serve and these boys that you serve, I mean, it must mean the world to you to be able to do that every day to help these families. What are your hopes for the future?
So you are right. It's incredibly motivating to be a part of something that is so much bigger than myself, and serving needs that I care deeply about. My hope for the future, honestly, is just seeing an organization that is serving more families in our community, so expanding our services.
Is that a possibility ever? Or
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
I'm assuming there's a limit on the number for a reason.
So within our community program, we can expand services. We can also expand our services on campus, but there are some statutory regulations that limit how many kids can be on there.
Right.
But I see a future where we are capping out the number of children that we can serve. I see a future where the children that we serve are leaving the farm happier and healthier than they ever have been. And I see a future where families in our communities are stronger. I see them strengthened because of the services that they've received from Windwood and organizations like us, but also an opportunity where the need that is currently existing in our community and state and throughout the nation starts to be addressed, not just because organizations like us exist, but because families are doing the hard work of getting healthier, getting stronger, and just really living into what a family is.
That's pretty amazing. All right, so for everyone who's listening today, whether it's for yourself or for your business, you're going to email Rick. So say your email again.
Yeah, it is Rick, RICK, Lhotan, LHOTAN, at windwoodfarm.org.
So we're gonna email Rick to set up coffee, to discuss fundraising, to discuss sponsorship, to discuss volunteerism, to discuss what you can do today to help this amazing organization that is the heart of our community. Rick, I cannot thank you enough for talking about this incredible place with us today. Your time and everything that you've done for these boys is duly noted and very respectful. So I've learned a lot, and I really need to get out there.
I'll host you on a farm tour if you want.
Well, I'm
so
going to
just
email
reach
you
out.
later, and we're gonna have
Please do.
coffee.
Please
for
do.
sure.
Would love to have you.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And Michael, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
my co-host
Glad to be
as
here.
usual. Again, everybody get to their website, get out there, and help the community. Before we leave, we also need to thank our sponsors again, Charleston Radio Group Studios, and of course, the Mount Pleasant Chamber of Commerce. If you are interested in sponsoring or being a guest on our show, you could just reach out to anybody in the chamber and we'll get back to you. Be sure to like and subscribe to all of our media channels. We are on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So again, thank you for being with us today. Until next time, Mount Pleasant. Until next time, listeners.